Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for the latest transfer update. I was complaining yesterday that business had been slow. We had our usual lot of deals go through that were, I guess, kind of arranged before the window even opened and just got announced at the start. And then a quiet sort of 10 days or so in between. We did a video yesterday and we can do another one today because with registrations being completed ahead of this weekend of games and frankly a long run now of championship weeks of football, a lot of deals have been completed. As ever, we're only talking about done deals. It is 8:24 on Friday morning, so if a deal has not been announced by a club's website, I will not be talking about it yet. It may well have to appear on the next video, but please do get your comments in with new deals that are going through. As ever, we're not too worried about transfer fees. They seem to be more and more meaningless in their reporting, and we just frankly don't know what they are. So we'll talk about the players, the buying clubs, the selling clubs, etc. Here are the latest deals in the Championship, and Jack Clarke has joined Stoke. Stoke making moves actually here. Rabbi Matondo, Norrington Davis in as well. Clarke joins also. Stoke looking to bridge that gap now and go from just outside the playoffs to hopefully, for their sake, just inside the playoffs. Here comes Jack Clarke, who's a really interesting signing, I think, because the upside is utterly massive. However, he hasn't done a lot for a fair while now in his career. Now, I feel somewhat of a lucky charm for Jack Clarke because the two breakout moments for him, I was in the stadium for both of them. First of all, the away game at Villa where he burst on after the second half and scored a great goal. And then, frankly, with no word of hyperbole, a stunning performance against Derby in that famed Spygate game in January of the 18-19 season. He was sensational. And me, and probably the rest of the people in the stadium, thought, wow, well, this guy's going to be a superstar. Didn't quite work out as maybe many of us thought on that day. There was the collapse that he had when he was on the bench at Middlesbrough, and Clarke just doesn't seem to have been the same since then, and ended up with Leeds actually selling him, which was a really good bit of business because it did enable them to ward off some bids for Calvin Phillips, and the rest is history. They kept him and got promoted. Clarke went to Spurs. He was loaned back to Leeds, didn't really feature at all. Then he went off to QPR on loan and again didn't really feature. So on the one hand, the upside is massive if you can get anything near that Derby performance out of Jack Clarke. But on the other hand, he's kind of unproven now for, 18 months or so. I think it's fair to argue. So be very, very interesting. The other obvious caveat is the difference in style between Marcelo Bielsa, where Clarke did his best work, albeit fleetingly, and Michael O'Neill. Obviously, Bielsa famed for quick, intense attacks with overlapping players, helping wingers out, getting them on the ball early in advantageous positions. Will he get the same situation at Stoke? Who knows? But will he be more entrusted as a kind of solo operator at Stoke? It may even work better for him. It may work worse. Who knows? But on the basis of the excitement of watching this guy when he was breaking through, it'd be great to see him get somewhere near to where he was. So good luck to Jack Clarke at Stoke, who I think he's got quite a lot to prove with this move. Saman Ghoddos, it's an interesting one, this one actually, because it looks like this is simply another part of a deal that was already done kicking in. Ghoddos arrived on loan from Amiens to Brentford with, we think, the obligation to buy kicking in now just because the deal couldn't be done back in the last window. The obvious comparison here is he was possibly brought in to be the new Ben Rama, playing in the same position. Hasn't really acclimatised yet. I'm not calling him a bust or saying he's not going to. Brentford's recruitment's been fabulous over a long time now. But is he Ben Rama? No. And the unfortunate thing for Godos is Ivan Toney has obviously jumped into Ollie Watkins' shoes quite brilliantly. However, Sergi Canos and Tariq Fosu have helped out in that position. So the permanent deal's done. Long contract as well until 2023. So I think time to step up now for Saman Ghoddos, because I suspect they will have paid some decent money there, Brentford. Let me know how you think he's going to get on, and will he be holding down that front left position at Brentford by the time we get into playoff season. I'm sure Brentford will want to be a couple of places above that, but we shall see. Jordy De Vries has gone to QPR from Hull City. I like to get to challenges, and I don't mind a bit of physical contact, says De Vries, who has been at Hull. Obviously, they were relegated last season. Has been down in League One. They've done a loan deal, I guess, if it goes well. You would think that unless Hull are stunningly promoted in flying fashion and he wants to go back there, you'd think with a view to a permanent transfer. It says indeed in the summer, so we'll see what happens with that. It's been Larbey and Dickey as centre halves for Rangers, but in the last game they did go to a 3 at the back using Jeff Cameron, who's essentially a midfielder in that role, and I think going to the 3 allows them to play 2 up top, which now they've got Charlie Austin, I think Mark Warburton's going to want to do. So this could be an important transfer. Austin up one end, who we covered in the last video, De Vries at the back in a 3, maybe a bit of muscle for Dickey and Larbey, who are perhaps more ball-playing centre-halves. Could be an important one if it allows Warburton to facilitate that change in system, and if that change in system stops what's become a bit of a rot at QPR. Let me know what you think in the comments. Jordy De Vries to QPR. Andre Green. It sounds like Andre Gray, but is not. At a different end of his career, I think. Has gone from being a free agent to Sheffield Wednesday, and very, very much in the I've got something to prove camp. We've spoken about Jack Clark and even Rolando Aarons in one of the other videos recently of players who have gone in and have got something to prove. Andre Green certainly has. You can see made his debut in the Premier League for Villa at 17 years old and really hasn't pushed on, has he? The Wednesday article I read about Green arriving was a little bit disingenuous, suggesting he was sort of incredibly important to the promotion under Dean Smith. Look, he wasn't, was he? It was Grealish, McGinn, Abraham, Mings were the cornerstone of that team. Yes, I do remember him scoring a late goal in a 3-3 draw against Sheffield United. I was there. Came off the bench at the end of a crazy game. And then loan spells, Preston, where I think he fell out with Alex Neil, and Charlton, where of course he went back and scored at Preston. But again, not a lot happening there. So lots and lots to prove, I guess. If he's making his debut in the Premier League at 17, there's something there. But Sheffield Wednesday will need a tune out of him, and we don't know who the manager who he's going to be working with is. So good luck to him. We want to see players make the most of their opportunities and their careers, and this is a chance now that Andre Green will want to take. Jared Braithwaite has gone on loan from Everton to Blackburn. He's not the typical Everton loanee. We've seen people like Callum Connolly, Matthew Pennington, Luke Garbutt going on loan out of Everton. This guy, you can see 18, but Actually started at Carlisle in League Two and transferred up to Everton. Obviously, he's going to work with Tony Mowbray, who was an excellent centre-half for Middlesbrough and Celtic and my team Ipswich in his time. It says he made 4 appearances last season in the Premier League as an 18-year-old. So we shall see. It's always interesting with these loan guys. Are they destined to not ever make the step up? And like we've just spoken about Matt Pennington, you know, go on loan, Cameron Carter-Vickers maybe, and end up below the Premier League? Or are they going to be the John Terry, the Jermaine Defoe, the Frank Lampard, all these people that went out on loan and then went and worked at the top level? Blackburn definitely need help at the back, don't they? I think Lenihan and Ayala have been the plan, but they just haven't been able to get the two of them together on the pitch very often, and Bradley Johnson's been having to cover a central midfielder there at centre-back. So I'm sure he will get some football, and if he is Premier League ready, I'm sure he'll find the Championship pretty straightforward. So sink or swim for Jared Braithwaite trying to find his way. So good luck to him up at Blackburn. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this. Tiago Shukur, if that's a half Dutch, half Turkish name there. It's gone from AZ Alkmaar to Watford. This looks like a project. 18 years old, but 6'3". Striker there is going to join up with the club's academy. See how he trains, whether he's going to get anywhere near the first team there. I wanted to put this one in because I think it's an interesting one. Victor Gyökeres has left Swansea to go back to Brighton. I've been banging on all season about Swansea's need for a number 9. Obviously, Rhian Brewster was sublime at the end of last season in that position for Swansea on a loan deal. And it feels like this may have been the guy to try and fill the gap, but it hasn't really worked out. And they're now relying on Jamal Lowe, who's essentially a winger converted to forward, and still Andre Ayew to get the goals there. So Gyökeres goes out. I wonder whether wages have been freed up now because Casey Palmer has also gone out from Swansea. So we'll see if there's any incomings. We're expecting Ben Hamer to arrive in goal at Swansea at some point today, so that may likely be in the next video. But myself and others are looking forward to a forward maybe going in there for the Swans. Gavin White has gone out from Cardiff to Hull on loan. When Cardiff came down, I think they spent a decent fee on White from Oxford, but he's gone over to Hull now, 24 years old. White, a right winger, leaves the Cardiff squad now. Neil Harris not fancying him, and obviously Hull had been using Adelakin on loan from Bristol City, who's gone back to Bristol City, so the merry-go-round now takes White from Cardiff across to Hull. One more to just mention here, David Davis, who had been at Birmingham for a long while, 6.5 years. I think they spent money on him, didn't they? If I remember correctly. He has left as a free agent, so whether we will see him popping up in the Championship or below remains to be seen. But that was released from Birmingham yesterday. So that is the latest load of transfers. Still a lot of loans. We may see some action from some of the parachute cartel today, we think, but again, fees very much at a premium at the moment. We're not seeing the one big load of money going into a Championship club and being reinvested yet. So clubs being very thrifty and using the loans so far. As ever, we'll go through the entire window looking at all of the transfer deals as they are done. Things will hot up as we go. That was transfer update number 4, and we'll be back with the next load of deals maybe tomorrow, but it may well be on Monday. We'll see how things shape up. As ever, get your comments in on any of those deals. Let me know what you think, buying club, selling club, how you think the player will get on. And I will see you very soon, and it's over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.